Welcome to Highfalutin Low Carb, the weekly web series where we find and test the best low carb recipes this crazy internet has to offer. Today, we're playing a little catch up. I needed a little help, so I've invited my best friend Andy, who is not only a super taster, more on that later, but he's also what I would call a ketchup connoisseur. Andy, welcome. Welcome, Andy.
Good to be here.
Okay, certified super taster, right?
Well, so says the little kit that we ordered one time.
Right, years ago. I've known Andy for decades, literally. And several years ago, we ordered a tasting kit to see if you were a super taster. Of all of our friends, he was the certified super taster. So I've invited him to come see which of these low-carb ketchups is the best. And by evidenced by the apron, he does put ketchup on his ketchup.
Well, you know, during my bachelor's degree in carbs, my master's in sugar, I did some independent study work in ketchup. So I'm excited to share that expertise today.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. All right, so as you can see immediately, there's a lot of variety in texture and color. One of these is extremely disconcerting, obviously just off the bat. I'm not going to mention any names, but it's probably that one right there. So we're going to taste them first with a spoon, and then we're going to probably find a little nibble to dip in there just to see which we like best. Okay, so today we're actually testing two homemade versions, the most popular online versions of low carb or keto ketchup that I could find, sugar-free. Some of them do have artificial sweeteners, absolutely. And then we're also pitting those against 4 commercial brands, and one of those might actually be real ketchup. So we're not going to say which that is. So we're going to test these blind. I guess you could say blindly. You can see what's going on here, and Andy cannot. I know which of these are. I've set this tasting up, and so I'm going to test along with you. All right, we're going to do sample number 1 now. This is number 1 here, and just as you can see, that's nice and red, pretty smooth. We're just going to test out of the same bowl. My God, you've eaten in my kitchen enough that you should know, right?
Absolutely.
Oh. This is going to be more difficult than I thought. What do you think? Not a lot there.
Well,
I mean, to me, I was expecting more flavor, to be honest.
it's sweet. It's nice.
It is sweet.
Yeah.
I don't think it's real ketchup, though, do you? Do you think that's sugary? Real sugar?
I have an idea of what this is, but I'll wait until we're a
Okay,
little
all
further
right.
down the line.
That was number 1. It was pretty good. I mean, not my favorite. Again, we're going to dip this with some, I made some hot dogs to dip into this.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
All right, now we're going to do number 2. This is this guy here. You can see what we're tasting. First off, it is kind of chunky. There's some stuff in there. So we're going to taste it. See what you think.
Right off the bat, the consistency looks a little different for me. You know, I was wondering when you asked me about this, would it be a little more like tomato sauce? Or
Right, like a salsa or
ketchup?
basically like spaghetti sauce kind of, you know. That's certainly true. When I'm just pouring these out and getting them ready, you notice that the commercial stuff's much smoother.
But I have to say it's tasty.
It is tasty. I don't want to give anything away. I can definitely taste the artificial sweetener in that. The aftertaste. You can't?
It's, I don't have an aftertaste as much, but I feel like it's made out of real tomatoes
Well, there's that.
versus a processed.
Are you talking about number 3?
Oh,
Okay, speaking of processed weirdness, all right, there's number 2. Speaking of processed weirdness, let's go to number 3. All right, I got to be careful picking this up. This is this guy here because it is so liquidy. That looks like raspberry vinaigrette.
it looks like soup.
Does it like soup? Okay. You need a straw?
Right?
You first.
Oh, it's not really even appetizing.
It's not. No, it's not.
It reminds me of a sauce.
Chinese egg roll sauce?
But it does not taste like it.
Good? Bad?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
I'm not a fan of this.
Oh, no. Ain't a tomato been near that.
I mean, maybe this one time, 8 ingredients down the list, but that's weird.
That is terrible. Y'all see what that is? I know what it is, and I've had it before, and I had the same reaction. Yuck. Okay, take a look again. See here? Yuck. All right. Number 4, moving on. This one's pretty.
I was going to say, it looks like a regular consistency of ketchup.
It's pretty, it's shiny. It's got the, well, I'm not even going to say. I was going to say it has the trademark dollop on top. Looks like a Tasty Freeze ice cream cone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is it?
Tastes pretty good to me.
Is that ketchup?
Tastes like real ketchup to me.
Tastes like real ketchup to him.
We'll see.
Well, you're the super taster, so I'm not betting against him in a ketchup battle. I'll be telling you that right now. I will defer. Okay, number 5, right? This one here. This one also, it's pretty smooth. Also kind of glossy. Nice consistency. See what you think. Not as smooth as number 4.
Right, but hold on, I'm gonna get some water because I want to give it a fair shot.
It's not bad, but it tastes like a can. It tastes like the can.
It tastes like some tomato paste that maybe
right.
souped up with some spices.
Souped up or not souped up enough?
Well, not nearly enough as our last.
I thought it was pretty bland.
It's bland.
But it tastes like canned tomatoes out of a can that you can taste, you know, where the tomatoes have ate the can.
I was trying to give it a little bit of credit. It was not quite just the canned tomatoes.
They're not paying me for any of these people. Right. I had to go buy this stuff.
Yeah, call him.
Yeah, call me. Okay, yep. That's not, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not going in for like a, when we taste it with a hot dog, maybe. All right, and now number 6, last guy here. This also is pretty. You can almost just see. Okay, that's real pretty. It's kind of orange though, but it is lighter in color and not as red as the rest to me. What do you think?
Again,
That's not bad. That tastes kind of like regular ketchup.
Yeah.
Kind of does.
Pretty dang close if it's not. I like it.
It's good. All right, that was number 6. So now the real test, truthfully, I mean, nobody eats ketchup with a spoon. Well, except you maybe sometimes. I kid. So the real test is mixing with food. So wait right there. All right, guys, we're back now. And as you see, I made some beef Angus hot dogs, 1 carb per. So I feel good about that. And they look pretty good. So let's just take each one of these and let's start again. Here's number... trying to see the screen over there. There's number 1. Let's see what's up. You dip first. Well, I'm going to dip too. Tastes like ketchup. Hot dogs. Yeah, kind of hard to go. It does have an aftertaste. Now that I got to have a hot dog just without it. So
I like that plan. Dip and then dog.
Yeah. Yeah. That didn't add very much to that. It just made it wet. Like there wasn't enough flavor there.
It's certainly a dip. It's not hugely flavorful. I do like the consistency more than some of the others.
You're not a chunky man for your
Not
ketchup?
Really.
It lets you know it's homemade,
Right,
other than
not
that.
that homemade is bad. It just...
Right. All right, so, okay, that was number 1. We weren't really excited about that to begin with. Let's do number 2. Voila, that was the kind of chunky one. A little bit spicy.
I like the flavor.
That's the one I said that I could taste the artificial sweetener in it at the beginning. And I can't as much with the meat, or maybe my palate has gotten dull from all the
Ketchup.
all the ketchup and a lot of vinegar. Most of these, the 2 that I made, the 2 recipes, one is from When I Breathe I'm Hungry, and it's her sugar-free ketchup, and one is from the Keto Diet app or Keto Diet blog, and hers is healthy, what is it called? Healthy homemade ketchup. Both of those have cloves, allspice, some heavy-duty spices, and obviously you know that's one of them, so I'm not giving anything away.
Good.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Okay, so let's do, do you even want to do it?
I mean,
It's not a real taste test, right? So here's the weird Chinese food sauce stuff. I don't know what that is. Go for it.
Look how I don't know, it coats different. The consistency is so different and weird. And then...
You're not ever convincing a child that is ketchup. No.
And just the taste is so off.
I don't even want it. I can smell it
Sorry
from here.
whoever sells this, but not a fan.
Wow. Nope.
Not reading to me as ketchup.
It's not rating to me as food.
If you sold it to me as some other low-carb sauce, quite possibly. But
No. Sorry, I had to get
wouldn't
water
be
about
my
that.
go-to sauce.
Number 4. This was the one we really liked, right? I mean, that was pretty good. Go for it.
I had that intermezzo hot dog.
You had to clear the palate. Of course you do. I mean, that's the way the professionals do it.
As we said the first time, the consistency's very regular on this one.
You know, it's about the dipability, right? And you know it oh so
I'm
well.
a dipper.
You are a condiment fan. You love a condiment.
Almost more than the food.
The
I'm
food
eating it
itself?
with, yeah.
That's good.
It is.
That's real good. Okay. Number 5. This one I thought was pretty good. You were not so wild about it. Dip first.
Well, again, the consistency makes me think it's one of them homemade. Which is, again, not a bad thing. Just different than I'm used to growing up
Right.
in the South with a lot of ketchup.
Well, and the homemade is a lot of work too. Of the 2 recipes, one of them took about 15 or 20 minutes. One of them took an hour, almost an hour and a half. Yeah. Metal can.
It's bland, yeah.
Metal can. And I'm going to just put this out here. That's the only one that tastes like a metal can. To me, do you know what I mean? Have you ever had that tomato sauce?
Absolutely.
And of the 2 recipes, I use the same brand of puree, tomato puree. So
Interesting.
just the way they were handled shows you how that can affect the flavor. All right, so that was number 5, right? And number 6, also we were kind of fond of. Here's this guy. See what happens.
Yeah, and it just reminded me of familiar consistency of ketchup.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Some food scientist somewhere has sat and determined the way the viscosity of that.
That's the word I was going to use. Viscosity.
Great minds think alike. That's good.
Trying to look at the colors. I mean, honestly, I'm not for certain at this very moment what the real ketchup is.
You aren't?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
I mean, I
Do
can
you-
rule out half of them.
Right. Well, okay. Let's start with which 2 are homemade? Do you think?
Well, obviously from the consistency, 2 and
These
5.
2. Okay. That's healthy homemade ketchup by the Keto Diet app, right? Healthy homemade ketchup. That has got 0.84 net carbs. It's got 1.1 total carbs. That's the homemade one, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the only one that took 15 minutes to make.
Something I would consider, because a lot of times with these low-carb recipes, I just don't want to take the time.
Right. And all that time is just for the condiment. You still haven't made the meat. Right. Now, granted, you make this and you keep it in the refrigerator for a month or 2, or a couple of weeks maybe. There's probably no preservatives. But, okay, so this one took me about 15 minutes to make. And you think that this is the other homemade one, and you are correct. That is sugar-free ketchup by I Breathe, I'm Hungry. And I did not care for that.
It was just bland to me. I mean, like, if I were sitting down and that was the only ketchup-like condiment on the table,
You would be forced to use it?
it's just bland.
If you were forced. Okay, the interesting is this, for all that work, this took me an hour and a half, I'm not joking. You had to boil down the 28-ounce can of tomato puree. Then you had to boil separately vinegar with the spices. Let that steep for a half an hour. Pour that back into the tomatoes you pureed, and then boil it again for 30 minutes. So it took a while. So that, for the effort,
You know me, I would never put the time in to make that.
no. And if I had, and it tastes like that, I'd be pissed off. And I kind of am. No. I'm kidding. Okay, so we've got 4 left.
Well, I mean, the worst one is obviously the worst one.
Which one? Oh, God. I'm embarrassed to even call that ketchup. You should be too. Calorie-free ketchup by Walden Farms. And I'm going to be honest with you, Walden Farms, I've tried a number of your products before, and I am horrified by them every time. And I don't mean that ugly. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't have a vendetta against you. I'm sure you are very nice people. But whatever is in that has not had a tomato near it.
I was about to say.
Read the ingredients.
Ooh, triple filtered purified water, white distilled vinegar, apple cider vinegar, vegetable fiber, salt.
Stop. You haven't even made it to a tomato.
The next ingredient is tomato flavor, and then tomato paste. And then honestly, there are just a lot more ingredients in this than I'm comfortable. If I'm going to go low carb and try to eat right.
Right.
That.
Now this is sugar-free, calorie-free, carbohydrate-free, and fat-free. Well, that's every macro. So what is in it? If you were just counting carbs, this is it's 0 carbs, total carbs. But I can't get on board with that. I'm sorry.
Not as a ketchup.
No, not as anything. I can't. All right, so this leaves these 3. I'm guessing this is in our top 3, or would you include one of these in the top 3? Because I'm going to pass along the torch to you and let you pick our first place, second place, third place winner here.
Consistency-wise, I feel that the top 3 are the other 3.
Okay.
Taste-wise,
but it's as much about consistency for you as it is taste.
a little bit, yeah.
All right, so which of these do you think is the real ketchup?
Honestly, can I taste it?
No, you can't taste anymore.
I mean, I'm a little bit shocked that I'm having to do this.
I am too. I thought you would have nailed it right off the
They're
bat.
going to rescind my degree from
Ketchup College?
Ketchup College. I'm picking this one.
Your super taster status has served you well.
Yay, good.
That is regular Heinz tomato ketchup, and it's good.
It is.
So that leaves these 2 guys here. So obviously you think that's number 1, but that's not a low-carb ketchup.
Right.
So we're not going to allow this to be in our lineup.
Right.
Okay? That's 4 total carbs per serving, not an option. So that means one of these others might be, though. So what...
Maybe I just want to eat hot dogs, but I'm really having a hard time.
Likely story. I said these hot dogs had 1 carb, but that wasn't for a pack of them. You want to smell that one?
I did. I mean, I'm smelling it here. I'm going to pick this one.
I kind of agree with you. And the reason you like this one the most is that's Heinz version of sugar-free. That's the Heinz reduced sugar ketchup.
Which I must admit I have in my refrigerator right now.
So, but it's interesting that it was that difficult to tell against the regular.
It does have a little sugar in it.
It does have real sugar in it?
It is reduced sugar.
Reduced sugar. It has 1 carb.
It does, no, I'm incorrect. It has sucralose.
Sucralose. And then obviously just the natural sugars that are in all those tomatoes.
Yes.
Okay, so that leaves us with this number 1. I was not super duper fond of that. To me, the 2, well, not that one, but this homemade, the healthy homemade ketchup.
I would put that probably number 2. The homemade.
Healthy homemade ketchup?
Taste-wise.
Well, you'll get the opportunity in just a moment.
Okay.
All right, this one was West Bray Naturals. Came from the health food store. Organic, unsweetened ketchup. And that's 1 carb. Again, these are all for 1 tablespoon servings, right? So this one was West Bray Organic Natural Ketchup, unsweetened, vegetarian. That was pretty
close.
Yeah, water, organic tomatoes, apple cider vinegar, salt, maltodextrin, but not enough to upset the carb count. Let me get the awards. Hold on one moment. Okay, as usual here at the Highfalutin headquarters, we've had a slight technical difficulty. So we're going to redo our award ceremony. It was the worst time for technical problem is during the award ceremony, which ask the Academy Awards. I think they go through it every time, or it's the Oscars. So we're going to do the award ceremony. I'm going to pass over, like I said, nothing legitimizes an event like a set of Child's Dollar Store awards. So we're going to pass the torch to you, my friend. Let's start with your third place. Now, again, we're not letting the Heinz regular be in this. No, he doesn't get to compete because he's 4 grams of carbs per tablespoon. Right. Way too much. So who's your third place?
Third place, I think, would be our number 1 sample, which was the organic unsweetened ketchup.
Okay, by Westbury Naturals. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know that I'd keep it in the refrigerator if I hadn't bought it for this, but
right,
it's good.
Price would become a factor for me as
well. That's true. That's true.
Taste-wise and consistency-wise.
This was probably one of the more expensive ones. It's organic. It came from the health food store. All right, so who's your second place?
Second place would be right next door to it. Number 2 sample, which was the KetoDietApp.com healthy homemade
ketchup. And this one only took me about a half hour, 15 minutes work time to make. So that's a really good deal there. I thought it was pretty good. The extra flavor I actually like. After tasting them all, at least there was something to taste.
I like the taste. You know, it has even though it was quick for you to make, the list of ingredients is a little lengthy, and that sometimes makes me, I'm pretty lazy, shy away
It
from
is.
that.
Let me just let you know what this is. So this is a healthy homemade ketchup by Martina Slaharova. What a pretty name. Okay, cup of tomato puree, apple cider vinegar, an onion, garlic, allspice, cloves. That's a lot of strong spices. It's got stevia. It's got swerve in it, so 2 artificial sweeteners, Himalayan salt, black pepper, and water if it's too thick. It wasn't that much work, but it's certainly more work than opening one of these bottles.
Right, which leads me to first place, and I know it's on the shelf at a lot of major chains.
And I knew you were going to go right for it. You're a Heinz boy through and through. No shame in that. So first place. So there you have it, folks. If you're looking for a low-carb ketchup, we've done the definitive testing, at least on these 6. I would probably go for one of the homemade things. Andy would probably go for one of the easier items. But there's enough ketchup here to make everybody happy.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next time. Yay. Thank you. I'm going to leave them here and take a photo. God, that Walden Farms was terrible.
God, it was. How much did you pay for that?
I was about to pay $13.99 on Amazon.
Thank God you didn't.
Thank God you did.
That was really horrible.
Now, if you liked this video, hit the like button below, or better yet, like this video and subscribe to our channel. These videos are a way for me to maintain my focus on a low-carb eating plan. I've personally experienced the weight loss and better health that a low-carb lifestyle can produce, so I appreciate you guys coming along for the journey. We make videos every week, so if there's a low-carb recipe out there you'd like me to try, let me know in the comments below. We'll see you again soon.